Today's episode is brought to you by Mia Plastic Surgery. At Mia Plastic Surgery, they believe in enhancing your natural and inherent beauty while helping you to achieve the look and confidence that you deserve. They also employ a number of minimally invasive services to address your concerns and meet your goals. They specialize in a variety of medical procedures of the face, breast, body, and intimate areas. Dr. Fee Nguyen, known as the Pageant Doc, is the official aesthetic sponsor for Miss USA, Miss Texas, and Miss Houston. For more information, please visit allaboutmia.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another installment / episode. Still not sure what I'm going to call these things. I guess we'll just call them episodes for now. Of The Dumb Show, I am your host, Omar Marcos, and this is our second take, actually, because just now, you're not supposed to make a noise, okay? I haven't introduced you yet. We had to retake the first take because of some technical issues, but my guest had her phone making noises. The audacity. But yeah, okay, so I am Omar Marcos, the host of The Dumb Show. We're going to get right into it because she's got some things that she's got to do today. Kind of a big day. Jumping right into the introduction. It's Jessica Reeves, formerly known as Jessica Bedore. You might know her as that because she went by that for such a long time. She's got her hands in lots of cookie jars. Okay, so she is an offshore technology. No, that's the OTC that's going on to. She does offshore safety inspections and stuff like that.
Integrity assessment.
Sure, whatever.
Let's get it right.
For some oil company, I think, right?
Yeah.
Pageant circuit, you know, she's made the rounds. We've judged some pageants together. She's a pageant winner herself. Started her own 501c, which is pretty badass, and it's actually a great cause that's really synonymous with Houston because of the stuff that we deal with. We'll get into that a little bit later. Jessica Reeves, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to The Dumb Show.
Good morning.
So yeah, you have a big day because it's Offshore Technology Conference
OTC.
Week here in Houston, which is a big deal.
Massive
Deal. It's a global event.
Well, it's international. It's one of the biggest.
Yeah, it's a global event, but it
Yeah.
happens here in Houston. So, you know, being one of the energy capitals of the world, especially in the U.S., it's kind of a big deal. So lots of billionaires in town, lots of not billionaire women in town, trying to find billionaire men. I mean, I'm being real, right? Like
Absolutely, 100%.
If we're going to talk about dumb things that men do, men will give their hand first before they give their heart, and the woman expects that. And so, needless to say, there are many men that are going to be.
But I think once you hit like a certain level, they don't care anymore. Like they know what you are.
Sure,
they're not dumb,
right?
Like, I know it's the dumb show, but they're not dumb when it comes.
They're
to,
not dumb. No, clearly they're not dumb. They know what they're getting. And it's. I hate to use the analogy. It's like, you know, taking candy from a baby.
Yeah,
right?
well, and they're not hard to spot. Unfortunately, like we talk about dumb men, but there's also dumb women out there too. Because
I'm not going to talk to that. That's something that women can talk to. Do I see it? Sure, but I'm
saying, like, if you got these girls that walking up, like, you know which ones, like,
right?
You know which ones are out there,
and you know what restaurants they're at,
and and we know where they're all at.
48.
You can
they're at Mastro's. Where'd you have dinner last night?
Steak 48 Mastro's.
Yeah,
but I was having business.
Sure,
I'm not there to pick up.
She's not just a pretty face, guys. She's smart. She's looking for those billionaires.
Because I need their business.
Yeah,
not that business. I need their
kind of business we're talking about.
Business.
Can we talk about these lackluster answers you gave me on the questionnaire?
You didn't tell me. Look, hey, I'm industry, so like when somebody asks me a question, I just need a quick
answer. It's like black and white.
Okay. You did not tell me you needed it detailed. You didn't.
I mean, we're gonna have a conversation here, so it's like we're gonna go in depth on things.
Well,
but it's like
we should have the conversation. The conversation's not gonna happen on the paper.
There's no meat on the bone here. There's no meat on the bone.
There's plenty of meat on the bone.
Okay. Let's see. How do we meet? Because like I'm gonna let you talk about it because you're more privy to the information of how we met than I am because
I know you forgot me. You were like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I didn't even, you were talking about the other day and you told me that how we met. I was like, wait, what, that was it? I don't remember because I just didn't.
It's 2017 because we had, I just started up the 501c3 and we were looking at doing a fundraiser. And that was the very first year that we threw Come Heels or High Water.
So, first of all, let's just backtrack a little bit. So what is Come Heels or High Water and what is your 501?
So the 501c3 is Brentmore Rescue. So essentially I started in Harvey. I was dispatching for the Cajun Navy Relief at that time. We woke up that Saturday after Harvey, like 29,000 missed phone calls, and I'm not over exaggerating. So I knew that we had to branch out, and so we did. I opened up a secondary location on Brentmore Road. Which
is like a really small little street by Tanglewood. I mean, not
Yeah,
Tanglewood,
yeah.
Town and Country. It's just
Yeah,
like,
it's
why
not
is it called?
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were able to utilize the building, the TSI building off of Brentmore, and we ran dispatching. We had boats in the water, formed a lot of rescues. We also started taking in supplies. We ran multiple trucks of supplies all over Houston at that time. Like, it was an operation that literally went down in 48 hours. And afterwards, they approached me to turn it into a 501c3. We're also funded and watched by LSU and A&M because they were the only one that's minority ran by women. So they follow us. It's been great. We decided we needed to do some fundraising, and we started Come Heels or High Water. It's a fashion show, and it's actually done pretty well.
And so
considering
what made that how did that bring us together?
Because I knew that I wanted to throw a fashion show. I know you are. I wanted to throw the fashion show, and then somebody told me to reach out to you because
just one person?
No,
yeah,
a couple people may have told me to reach out to you because
the king.
Yes, because you had Runway Houston, and they were like, if you're gonna throw a fashion show, you go talk to Omar. And you and I went to Nirvana, and then
great band.
Yeah, right. Don't even downgrade the fact that we were so excited that like we loved Nirvana because we loved Indian food.
So at the time, you said 2017.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
it was the best.
I was such a different person, right?
Completely different.
So I was married back then.
Yes.
And living in that part of town, actually.
Correct. Yes.
So I was
You weren't far at all.
I wasn't far at all, and it was Indian food, and I was like, yes, Indian food. Somebody loves Indian food.
Yes.
By the way, today's episode brought to you by Taco Cabana. No, just kidding. So Indian food was a plus, and then I don't think that we even knew each other before that, right?
We didn't.
Okay,
no, that
so
was the first time we
you were
met.
reaching out, right?
Yeah.
And then we talked about the show, and here we are.
Yeah, and you kind of
6 years.
aggressively told me I didn't know what the heck I was doing when I tried to bring up ideas.
You try to do what?
You were like, I brought you all my ideas, and you were like, well, no, then none of that's going to work. And
Okay,
you were probably right.
So here's my approach to things, right?
You were probably right.
If you tell somebody how to do something over and over and over again in a nice way, it's not going to register, right? So what I've known worked for me and how I apply advice is I bestow it aggressively and sometimes or very bluntly. And some people can't take that. I'm just like, that's just not going to work. If I give somebody advice, I absolutely know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'm not giving that advice, right? That's the way I feel, right? You may not like my advice, but for me, it's worked, right? And I know not everything works for everybody. So, like, you may drive a car a certain way. If I'm teaching you how to drive, that style may not work for you, right? So it's just how I've done things. And if I'm talking about something that I'm an expert in, which doing fashion shows, I guess I would say pretty.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
you did pretty good.
Second largest fashion show in the southern United States.
Yeah.
I kind of know what I'm talking about, right? So it may have come across harshly, but it was only in the best interest of your production.
No, it was just blunt. But we didn't know each other at that time
Yeah.
either. And so you were like, who is this woman up here trying to talk to me about fashion shows? But we did decent with it. I mean, we doubled the size of it within 2 years.
There you go.
And then COVID shut us down.
By the way, COVID did not shut Runway Houston down. Just saying.
Whatever.
So that's how we met, and we've been homies ever since.
Ever
my
since.
God.
Say it's a lie. Say it's a lie. Say it's a lie.
I mean,
It's
no, because it's kind of funny because
we rotate. Like,
Okay,
we go
so
back and forth.
the irony, right? Because it's like we didn't know each other at all,
Mm-mm.
and then you meet because somebody suggested me to you, and then we're like, next thing you know, we're like doing pageants together,
Yes.
and it's like we're inserted in the same social circles.
Yeah.
It's like that's weird that we didn't meet each other before, but that's kind of how it happened, right?
Right. And none of that was on purpose either. Like, it just kind of gradually like circulated every time like we show up or something. I don't know. It was weird.
That's Houston.
And well, absolutely 6 degrees of separation all over Houston. It's the tiniest, like, biggest city ever.
Yeah, 6 degrees of Omar.
6 degrees of Omar.
It's like Kevin Bacon out of the equation. If y'all don't know what that means, I should probably Google 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So, how's life?
Life is good. Well, we're super busy right now. I mean, OTC is insane. It's one of the busiest weeks
Not
of
really
my life.
what I was asking, but like, you
Well,
know.
what are you asking? Because, I mean, in general, yeah, life is great. Or if you're talking of, like,
We're on the dumb show.
right.
Okay, and so, all right, I'll guide us a little bit here. We recently reinserted into each other's lives again, so to say, because like people go off the radar because of COVID,
Yes.
and just
Yes.
pageants stopped and people were going out, so I really didn't hear about or see you for a while,
No.
right? Until recently we reconnected. I think you may have taken a social media hiatus, or no?
I did.
You did. Okay.
I did.
Because I think you came back and it was like a different name. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't.
Well,
know.
I went through a divorce, so
Okay.
like after that, I thought like I was like, I just need some time. I
Yeah.
needed my own time. Like
Yeah, I
I was
did
like,
the
man,
same
I need
thing.
to refocus on myself. I need to figure. I had to remember how to be single again. I had to remember how to.
Okay, so how long were you married?
8 years.
Okay, so you were married in what year?
Well, no, I'm sorry. We were together 8 years. We were married in 2017.
Okay, so you were together for 8 years.
Yeah.
That's how I answer the question. Because people ask me like, how long were you married
I
for?
know.
I'm like,
I hate saying like, well, we were together for this, we're married for this. Man, we were together 8 years. Like,
Yeah.
period. Like,
Yeah, that's
it didn't matter, ring or not. Like,
that's
we
what
were
I say.
together.
Because some people ask me
Yeah.
like, well, how long were you married for? And I'm like, we were together for 10. Because we were only married for 5.
Right.
Right? Because, you date, you live together, you do all
Yeah.
the things. We didn't rush into marriage. And then, it takes a year to plan a wedding.
Right.
So, like I proposed at 4 years in.
But you're already doing the stuff that you're doing married anyway.
But you gotta make
you just
sure.
don't have the paper.
You just got to make sure,
Yeah.
like, before you get married. For me,
Yeah.
at least, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So you guys were together for 8 years, and then you divorced in what year?
This last year.
So 2022.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And writing was on the wall.
Oh,
was it abrupt?
No, it wasn't abrupt. I mean, it was coming. Like it was just a square peg round hole. Like it had been accumulating over a really, really long time.
Yeah.
It was it was rough. It was really rough, and I had to.
So this is your baby daddy.
No, we never had kids.
So it made it easy.
together.
So it
yeah,
made it
this is my
easier.
second marriage.
Okay, got it.
So I was like, and then I think that's what held me on too, because like I didn't want to be like the statistic, like, like second marriages don't work out and all this stuff. So I think I held on. Like there was a lot of things. There was a lot of reasons I stayed. There was more reasons I should have gone.
Okay.
A long time ago.
Why did you stay?
A lot of reasons. Like I think that I was like, oh well, he's got potential. He's gonna potential will keep you sitting somewhere a long time that you don't need to be there. Like, and I had to get really
this is your
uncomfortable.
husband that you said had potential.
Yeah.
This is what you say about a boyfriend.
That's
not a
right.
husband. So
That's
I'm like,
right.
wow.
That's
okay.
right.
So your mental state might have been very different.
Insane. Oh yeah, my mental, like I look back now. So I look back now at the person that I was when I was married. I don't even recognize that person. I'm like,
Isn't that
why?
crazy?
It's insane. I'm like, why would I allow myself to be treated? Why would I allow myself to? I mean, no offense, but look, I mean, I can do
yourself.
I can do better than, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like look at me. Like look at, that's not being conceited either. I'm just positive, but like look at me. Like and I take care of myself and I do all this other stuff and I'm actually a really, really good person. So it wasn't just me leaving my marriage. I left an entire group of people because in my like the way I saw it, I was like, look at this. Like it's a privilege. It is a privilege for you to be in my life because I am a good person and I do work really hard and I treat people really well. I didn't want that in my life anymore.
While that may be true, do you think that that's something that is maybe slightly arrogant?
No, I don't. Because I think you have to be so careful with who you let in your life because the wrong person can breed the wrong negativity. I think that it's okay for you to associate with a lot of people, but in actually like being close with someone, I think that you have to be extremely picky.
I'm fixing my taco, sorry.
I see you fixing your tacos, just like that taco. You gotta be real careful what you put on it, because
I mean, it's only
it's
taco
perfect
bananas.
right now, but you might put something on it, and then your taco is gonna be messed up. Your whole day is gonna be ruined. So, see, one wrong move.
That's why there's more tacos.
More fish.
Metaphorically speaking, yeah.
Yeah, I know. The fishing pool's not.
Okay, so you get out of this relationship, and I mean, 8 years is quite a long time. So for me, I got divorced in 2019, right? And it was 10 years of being together. So that was 2009. So think back where the world was in 2009. Like social media was there, but it wasn't really like a thing. You know, there wasn't even TikTok. Like it just was a whole nother world. So like when I got divorced in 2019, I know what the fuck was up because I was like, damn, how do you even begin to date?
Yeah.
And then I wasn't even thinking about dating, but it's just like, that's just the reality.
Yeah.
Like you're single. I haven't been single in 10
Yes.
years.
Correct.
Right. So I went through 2020, even though it was COVID, doing some stupid, like, bachelor pad type shit, right?
Mhm.
And I'm sure that's not the route you went, but like it was a 180 of what I was
Mhm.
doing, right?
Mhm.
And how did you proceed in
I think
the
that-
aftermath?
I think
Because you're still in it.
I think that's different in mental states though, because I can remember like years and years and years ago in my first marriage, because I was married like insanely young. Like I had no business. We had no business getting married. We
I
realize
think people
that
should
now.
get married at no earlier than 25. I think there should be a rule.
I don't. Yeah, 100.
You don't even know who you are.
No,
And anybody that,
but that's not even right either, because the
anybody-
person I was at 25 is not the person I was at 30.
yeah, I know,
Or
but like
thir-
but it's really amplified because like you go 18 years living under the roof
Yeah.
of your parents.
That's exactly what it was.
And then most cases, not every case, you go to college and you're also told what to do for the next 4 years of your life. So you really, at the age of 22, still haven't like done
it was
anything on
also
your
a
own.
lot of like small town mentality too, because I mean I grew up in like this little tiny like little country town,
Oh, man.
and it was like one of those, hey, you know, you
I
graduate
married a-
high
I
school, you
married
get
a-
married,
you
you
know.
get kids, you know, well, it's the same, and I didn't want that. I mean, as soon as I was 18, I hit that population sign, man, I was gone, but I still ended up getting married young, and when we divorced, I was still very young, and man, we partied out. We went out. Like I was like, shoot, I don't care. You know, I don't know what to do. I went from living with my parents to a husband. Now I'm free.
Yeah.
I mean, I went all out. I absolutely.
But this time around-
this time around was different
Much
because
different.
I'm older. My mentality's completely changed. And I'm kind of like, I did a lot of self growth too. And it was even in that last year we were together, because I was just completely mentally checked out of that marriage the last year we were together, completely. And I had already started working like on myself. I let him do what he was doing,
Yeah.
and I was working on myself. So by the time I actually came out of it, I'm like, man, I don't have to do that. I don't need validation from anybody. I guess I'm okay like being alone. I'm okay being alone. I'm okay spending time alone. I'm okay doing my own thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it gets lonely sometimes, but like I don't feel the need to just jump out there in this cesspool that is now the dating world.
Okay, it's not that
It
bad.
kind of is.
I mean,
No, it kind of is.
I say because that's what we see.
Mhm. Yeah,
No, that's what we see.
I know.
What dictates social activity nowadays? Social
There
media.
is no right.
And so
Everything's superficial.
exactly. We've gone from a society of when social media first was inserted into our lives of wanting to show people in our lives that are literally connected with us cool things that we wouldn't normally share, like what are we having for lunch, and you know, look at me, I just got a new car, and your friends are happy for you, to it expanding, and there's influencers now, and there's people that you know are vlogging and doing all these different things, and we're trying to please people that we don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're literally putting on a different hat
That's right.
every moment of the day, trying to please somebody different.
That's
and there's
right.
so many different social circles. I wouldn't say that dating is like a cesspool of like, you know, whatever, right? Let's use something that's derogatory.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that what we're seeing is the cesspool, right? Because people are being so fake. People are trying to prove themselves to people that don't even matter in their lives and trying to be somebody that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even know who you're really encountering anymore because it's like, who is this? Because like you're
But
seeing.
see, I don't even think I was talking about the social media aspect of it. Like
That's-
I was talking about like actual like
Okay. So, have you been dating?
yes.
Because you said you got divorced last year, right? So
Yeah.
it's been months.
So yeah, well, so last year, but I mean, I haven't dated like at all.
Okay.
So I have gone on a couple of dates.
Yeah.
But the thing that and then I did kind of date-ish somebody. The thing I find, and I'll be honest with you, I think it's really hard, especially being like in my position. You would think that it would be easier, a woman that's slightly successful, has the ability to take care of herself,
Yeah.
has a good mental mindset. You would think that like they would actually be the target. Like that's the one. And when
But-
guys see you,
but-
absolutely. If I
but-
can walk it.
But
but
Okay.
we're not. That's very hard.
Why?
I feel because a lot of men have a hard time swallowing. Like that's a hard pill for them to swallow. It's like they can't deal with a woman like that. It's like, are we too strong minded? Or we're strong willed. We're opinionated. We have the ability to be opinionated. We only have ourselves to rely on.
So let's go back 8 years to this marriage that you just got out of.
Okay.
Were you a strong, independent?
I'm way more stronger now than I was back
but
then.
you were making your own money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So the outlook for that guy
Mm-hmm.
to the guys now probably hasn't changed much. Even though you're stronger, you're still beautiful. You're still successful, right? You're still making your own money.
Mm-hmm.
You already had kids even back then. So what outlook do you think has changed?
I don't know. Like it's almost
Because
like
externally looking, you haven't changed much.
no.
But internally, yes, you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I almost think it's almost like I'm just trying to think of an example here. Like they can't deal with it's almost like cleanliness. But it's not really like it's almost like they expect us to be more clingy, or they expect us like I'm not gonna chase anybody. I don't have to. Like I don't have to chase a soul. Like I and I'm not going to. But like I feel like almost like because I'm with what I do, I travel a lot.
Yeah.
I'm always gone. I mean, I've got OTC this week. Next week, I've got New Orleans. I've got Michigan after that. Like I'm gone. And I'm going 150 miles per hour a day, all day.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they can't deal with. I can't be of easy access to her. She's not always reaching out. She's not always begging for attention.
You ready?
She's not. And it bothers them. And I'm like, but wait.
You ready for the truth?
But then they, if you are that girl, if you are the one that gets clingy, if you are the one that's consistently reaching out, then they're like, well, back up. Like, so it's a complete, no, go ahead. Give me your truth.
I can't speak to every guy on the planet, right? But I've been that guy, right? Mm-hmm. And if it's a strong woman that's making money, doing her own thing, beautiful, traveling, a guy like that will be, I can't control this girl.
Oh, absolutely. I even said that. Actually, I was getting to that. Like,
and
it was
so they're
like a control issue.
Nope. Right?
Yeah.
They may want to do the conquest of sex with you, and that may be the extent of it, right? Then there's guys that know they probably don't have a chance with you or whatever, and then there's guys that like that doesn't deter them, right? Not saying anything specific, but like I was raised by a strong, independent woman, and so that doesn't faze me. I can't say that every guy's like that, but like you say men, women marry women that are like their mother, but it's like I prefer that almost, right? Because women should be strong. So it's kind of mind blowing to me that men would want a weak woman.
I know, but they can't control. Like they can't control. It is absolutely control, and I was going to bring that up as it's a control issue. So now so if you're looking at like a dating pool, now I've narrowed down. So
what are you looking for?
So I've always believed just kind of like power couple. Like if I think you're going to be together, you need to be able to match each other's energies. And it doesn't even have to be somebody that's even like successful yet. Maybe it's somebody that's already like they're currently building something, they're doing something. Like I'm like, let's just build it together. Let's build something. Stay busy. Like let's make sure we can like have a good time and laugh together and just it's actually really simple. Like it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. If you find a person that you genuinely
women
enjoy,
say this, and it's like,
not. It really isn't though. Like it's not that hard. If you find somebody you genuinely enjoy spending your time with, if you find somebody driven enough that they want to build with you and actually,
then why do women never date those guys?
Oh, well, because most of them are trauma bonded to some other guy who's like broke their heart and they're like, I can't get over him. So they stay. And instead of being like, oh, screw that guy, moving on, they just stay trauma bonded.
I mean, you know me, right? I've dated plenty and I know tons of women, right? That not necessarily they've dated, but like they're just friends and affiliated with projects I've been involved with. I see it time and time again. It's like those words just came out of your mouth, yet you're divorced twice. You haven't had a successful relationship in a ever.
I can't get
So
it
it's
right.
like, but it's so easy. Like you just gotta date. Da, 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 da. But women never date those guys. They date all the wrong guys. And it fucks them up. It does.
Yes.
I'm saying it because I've gone through experience. Not saying you.
Yes.
But I'm saying it fucks them up, and it just ruins everything for the good guys, right? And I'm not calling myself a good guy at all, but that shit happens all the time.
That's also because a lot of women and men do not take the time to heal from either their childhood traumas or whatever other traumas in their life in order to examine and reevaluate their own worth. And so it's just hurting people all the time. It's just a vicious circle.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop because no one takes the time to heal because it's so easy to just, the next person and the next person. It's so easy to swipe right or left. I don't know. I don't have those apps. I can't tell you. I don't know if it's on right or left, but it's so easy to just be replaced when it didn't used to be that way.
Thank you.
We didn't used to have our socials.
Rewind this last 30 seconds.
Okay.
Everybody, because that is so fucking true. I tell it time and time again. I can go on as many dates as I want to. And let's just ask you, what's your DMs looking like?
Oh, like ticker type.
Right?
Yeah.
And even though, let's just say me and you started dating, right? Even though you may not entertain those DMs, you know they're there. Right? And I'm not saying this is you, but in a lot of cases, because a woman knows she's got 10 to 30 suitors waiting in line, even more, if depending on who it is, right?
That's right.
The moment something's not perfect, and I'll put that in air quotes, because what the fuck is perfect?
Right.
They know that option B through Z are literally in the queue, right? Depending on what type of woman that is, and it's the same for guys.
Yep.
They check out because they know that they can get a better experience somewhere else, and it's fresh.
That's
we
right.
like shiny new toys.
That's right.
That's just nature of humanity.
That's right.
That's why we buy new cars, even though the car that we have is still running.
It's just fine.
Right? It's just something new. I just think that that's really fucked up dating in general.
Yeah, it is.
And then I recognize it, so like I'm not gonna let that dictate me. I know my worth, and I know what I bring to the table, and so like when I date somebody, I'm gonna like listen.
Yeah.
It's almost like, because I've dated a lot, and I tell people like, listen, I'm 42. I'm trying to find my person. I'm not gonna just be like idly standing by, like, is this the right? No,
That's right.
fuck that. I'm gonna go out and date and date and date and date, and when I find my person, yo, let's go.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Yep.
but I'm not getting too attached because I know women are like this. Men are like this too, but I'm not dating men. I'm dating women. So I'm talking about my experiences, right? It's got to be like that, right? For you.
I know
the same way. For men are the same way.
But
they know that they got like 4 or 5 other side chicks that they can probably holler at.
But then you ask me, okay, so now we're going to rewind back. And at the beginning, you asked me, why did you stay so long? Because I burned my ships. I didn't give myself an option. I didn't have the DMs. I shut them all down. When I went in. I dove in, and I didn't give myself an option to return. So I burned my ships.
Good.
Burned them. That's the way I do it. So, and that's why I stayed. You're like, oh, well, why did you stay for 8 years? Because I don't give myself an option out. You don't give yourself you don't put one foot in and one foot out. It's like you either get over here or get out of my way.
And your DMs just went up just now.
It's insane. It's ridiculous, the DMs.
Let's talk about it. Okay, without giving out any names, like what kind of stuff do you get? Because I can't even imagine.
To be quite honest, actually probably the majority of them are decent. Like, hey, just want to let you know you're beautiful, or hey,
Really?
how are you?
That's
or
so creative.
Oh yeah. If you say hi, I'm probably gonna block you. Because if you can't conversate with me more than hi,
hello,
bye, or like start off something. Like if you're just like, or if you text me every day, what are you doing? Or WYD, or or if you know what I mean? Like if there's no conversation, I'm not going to converse with you anyway. Yeah. But then to be quite honest, I don't converse with it too much anyway, because I'm too busy to do it. Like I'm too busy to answer. I don't have time. I don't have time to sit there and reply to 56 DMs that probably just come through on
but
my.
like,
I don't have time for that.
What's the approach? I mean, what are the things that you're getting? Like, I'm not saying you responded to them, but like, what are some of the most outlandish things that you've seen?
Oh, the sugar baby ones are hilarious. Like when you have the little billionaires like reaching out to you, like, "Hey, I'm a sugar baby," and I'm like,
man, I wish I was a woman sometimes.
Nope.
I'd be rich.
You'd be rich. Oh, you jump on that sugar baby card.
I'd be the biggest slut more than I already am.
The offerings, like I think guys just think too, like, hey, if I just, oh, here, I'll buy you a ticket here. Do you want to come here? I'm like, no, I really don't. Yeah. I can buy my own ticket. Then they get mad too. So like if you say, hey, like, because I've never met anybody, like I've never met anybody online. Like I don't date online. Yeah. Like I just don't. Like to me, I'm also I'm a Christian woman too. And so I absolutely believe, like, I am at the point now where I'm like, I'm not, until God puts him down right here and says, hey, this is the one, like, yeah. Like that's the way I see it. So I'm not gonna actively go out online or actively try DMing or actively do this, trying to date somebody. Like if I don't organically meet this person, then I'm probably not supposed to. That's the way I see it in my head. And also, if they're in my DMs, it probably means they're in 40 other women's DMs. And again, there you go. You didn't burn your ships. So I'm not interested.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
So they got to find you at Steak 48. If they want to holler at you.
I've been like once. Oh, sorry, twice.
Literally, you were there last night.
I've been twice in the last week. And that's the most I've ever, because I do like their steaks and their beignets.
Steak 48, I need your check in the mail no later than Friday. By
Go
the way.
Get the beignet tree. I like the steaks.
Let's move along here because I know we can talk about this forever.
Ever and ever. Everyone can talk about this forever.
Let's see. Okay. I asked you this and you cut it off. What's your biggest challenge that you're facing today? Like, what's going on? Like, what do you feel are some of the things that are new that you haven't really dealt with before?
New?
Or not even just new, but like, what are the challenges that you're dealing with right now?
I mean, I've got a lot of challenges.
As it pertains to men. Obviously not work stuff. Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares about work. Challenges. So, work-life balance. I have to remind myself, like, hey, you don't have to work all the time. You can like actually go out and enjoy yourself.
Are you the type of girl that like gets an email ping on her phone and then like immediately picks up her phone and starts like dealing with it? Yeah.
But I have to. That's my industry.
I mean, but is there a shut off?
Oh, I can shut it off. And I have shut it off. Like you do have the ability to go out and sit and have dinner or whatever and shut it off. Yes, I can. But it's also
my talk, so I need you to talk for like at least 30 seconds.
At least okay, eat your taco. But there are times where I can't shut it off, especially if I have something going off the wall or something's happening with work, especially if it's overseas. Like I have to be able to answer that phone if it calls. But if I'm out with somebody, I do try my very hardest to kind of really engage, really have conversation. I don't necessarily put the phone away, but I do put the phone down. And I'll pick it up and check it here and there. But I try to engage. I try to be in the moment. I try to actually have conversations and
what's the work personal life balance looking like?
Like right now it's insane because I'm all over the place. So it's hard for me to like physically like be able to go out all the time, have a date all the time. I can't all the time.
Yeah.
You know, especially right now. I mean, this is one of our busiest May is super busy. May is always busy.
And you're on a dumb show. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. But it will slow down a little bit, but then there's times where it's not. It's going to be insane. And I'm going to be all over the place, traveling all over the world. And so when I look at that, like it's dating somebody, I actually have to look at that too and be like, okay, is this person going to be okay with me? Like, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be.
Better bring back some souvenirs.
Yeah, I'm going to be traveling a lot.
And I ain't talking about shotguns.
But I also have to have somebody that's confident enough in it too. And then also the trust is, because I mean, let's be honest, it's a man's world. The one I work in is completely a man's world. So I am surrounded by women all the time. That's all I'm surrounded by. That was honestly one of the things in one of my last marriage. Like he didn't like it. Like he didn't like the fact that I was always out. And if I was out, I had to be around men.
It's the opposite for me.
Like
nothing but women.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got to have a trust there. There has to be trust. There has to be trust. But if you don't have trust, you probably shouldn't be together in the first place. Like,
like I know. Well, when I first started dating my ex-wife, and I promised I wouldn't talk about her. I'm not going to. I'm talking about how it was for me. I was like, look, I'm a photographer. 90% of my clients are women. I work in a modeling agency. I just started creating Runway Houston, so like that wasn't really like as big as it was. But all these women, and even in marketing and real estate, like 80% of the people in real estate are women.
Yeah.
If I'm dating somebody, they have to trust. Like, because there's just no way. There's no way. Like, there's my phone. Go through it whenever you want. And I guarantee you 100%, maybe 99% of my conversations are with women.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my guy friends, but my best guy friends don't even live in Houston. So, like, I'm not really interacting with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So there's just no way in a relationship, for me at least, and I can see it the same way for you.
Same way.
Because you work with a bunch of dudes in the old business and you travel, and I get it. Like, I mean, my ex-wife was a lawyer. It's another man's world.
Yep.
And she traveled for work. She was federally licensed. So she was like all over the circuit. So yeah, you have to have trust, and you have
to have trust. And it's also like, you actually have to explain that to your significant other or your person that you start to date too, because it's also like, I don't think that they understand. And I'm sure you can understand where I'm coming from when I say this. From the other person looking in, it's almost like, okay, well, you're going to go hang out with all these guys. And obviously y'all all want to hook up. From my perspective, I'm so numb to it. Like, I don't even I can stand around guys all day and they could even be good looking guys. Not interested. Like, I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
Everybody asks me like, yo, you're around models all the time.
You get
like,
numb to
you've seen me
it.
backstage at
Absolutely, 100%.
It's like, I didn't even give a shit.
No.
Like, I just walk in. It's like, dude.
That's how I am.
Girls are naked. It's like, dude, no. It doesn't
am.
even register to me.
Yes. It's so numbing. Like, I can sit at a table full of, and honestly, just this last week, I can sit at a table with oilmen that have literally more money than, I mean, and of course they're all, I got the private jet. I got this. And I'm like, great.
Are they gay? Because
I'm not interested. Yeah. It doesn't impress me. I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm happy.
Pretty impressive.
No, I'm happy that you have money.
Impressive.
I'm happy that you I'm happy you have your private jet. I'm happy you have all this. But like,
I'm impressed.
It's not mine.
Guys, if you're listening, I'm impressed. I'll go
it's
on a date with you. Can I go on the jet to Coachella, please?
I love them for their accomplishments, but not
so
enough
nice.
for me to
Gag.
go jump in bed with them just because he's got a private jet.
No, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm trying to say.
It's not real.
It's not real, and
because
it's
they probably do that.
numbing.
That's a line. It's like, dude.
And I'm also degrading myself, like I am. Like, if I'm just like, then I become a Steak 48 girl.
Where you were at last night.
Where I was at last night. I had to be there.
I get it. So obviously tonight it's not Steak 48. Somewhere else.
No.
We're not gonna say where.
No.
It doesn't even matter because this won't air for a few weeks.
We're all over the place this week.
Okay, so you've dated, been married twice. Clearly you've been hurt.
Yeah.
What's some of the most hurtful things that have happened to you? Right? And not to say who did this, but like, I just want to go there. Because you said ghosting and like gaslighting, but I think there's more to it than that. I mean, because ghosting, like, that happens to everybody.
Ghosting to the point where like you really like
you have a friend that does that.
Yes, I do.
I'm not gonna talk about that, but I'm just saying.
Ghosting is very, but you have to understand that like there was a whole relationship there where so I did get hurt really, really bad. And I was in a relationship that literally, I tell people sometimes, they say, well, you've changed so much. And I said, I literally had to kill the girl I was to survive. Because if I hadn't of, I wouldn't be where I am today. I had to just shut it down. I had to become kind of my own hero and just completely reinvent myself to get away from what I went through before that. People can go through like physical abuse, and yeah, that sucks. The bruises, they heal. Like you get over that. Like, it's the mental ones. It's the emotional abuse. It's the financial abuse. It's there's a whole lot more there that actually takes a lot more toll in you.
But there's a lot to unpack there already.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hit on something that you just said,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that it may have happened because you mentioned it just now. Were you physically abused?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that there's a lot of women that have gone through that and are going through that. And clearly you survived it and you're on the other side of it and you're successful and you're raising your family now. Reach out to those women that may be listening, because I'm saying right now, like, what do you tell them?
You gotta go.
Gotta go.
You gotta go. You can't stay there. You can't stay there. It's not gonna get better. And no matter how many times I get it, like you can, I love him. He's going to change. He tells me he's going to change. It's going to get better. It might get better for 6 months. It might get better for 4 months. It might get better for a couple of days, but it's going to come back, and it's not going to get better. It's going to get so bad that you're not going to have a choice but to leave.
Yeah.
And then if you don't leave, then you're playing with fire. Then it's a safety issue. You
just cross that line.
You got to go.
I mean, as a man.
I mean, look at, like, there was a news article just the other day, and I don't remember the guy's name, and it's probably not important to bring it up right now, but shot and killed his girlfriend, and then killed himself. Some of us don't get out. Yeah. I was fortunate I got out, but I had to I had to run. Like, I had to leave everything. I had to go. I had to run. Like, but some of us don't get out. And don't let yourself become that girl that didn't get out. You can get out now. And there's so much help out there.
What would you have done differently in hindsight? Because hindsight's 20/20. We can talk all the, I should have done this, but that's bullshit because you weren't in that moment, right?
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody that's listening that's going through physical abuse to do besides just get out? Like, what's the immediate action that you think you could have done? Like, reach out to somebody.
Listen to first of all, your gut instinct. Like, do not deny your gut instinct. Your gut's right. It's 100% right. The second thing you need to do is you do need to reach out to somebody. You need to and it's okay. It is okay to reach out. You are not crazy. You are abused.
Were you afraid to tell anybody when you were?
100%.
Because you were afraid of what they do to him.
Look, yeah, absolutely. Well, them, but like, there's also a whole background there that I had to be careful that I didn't touch either. There's a whole lifestyle. Like, I had to be careful. And then, I was afraid of, like, what, I mean, I have a lot of friends and influential people and slightly dangerous friends too. And I was like, I was afraid that something would, because the sad part is that, you're being abused, but you still don't want anything to happen to them. Like, you don't want them to get hurt. You still, because it's empathy, because somebody abusive will go after somebody with empathy. It's almost like narcissism. What's the first thing they go after? They're going to go find somebody that's empathetic. They're going to find somebody kind with pure and a good heart. And that's actually a genuinely good person. That's exactly what they're magnetized to. And then, us empathetic little, freaking flirty fairies over here, just like, yeah, it's fine. Come into my world. Come abuse me. I had to kill that girl.
Yeah.
I'm not that girl anymore. I can't be that girl anymore.
Yeah. You got kids looking up to you.
Absolutely. I had to think of everything. And then you had to go, and the first thing you have to do is just reach out. I tell people, I've told women that on my social medias. I've posted about it before. I'm like, if you don't have anybody in your court, call me. I'll come sit with you. I know exactly what you need to do. I know exactly the steps you need to take. I've done it. I've been there. Is it going to be hard? Yeah, it really is. It's really scary too. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. I mean, I know, because a lot of them don't want to leave because of comfort of financial. Well, they can't. You can take care of yourself. You can. Yeah. There's a million ways to make money out there in the world nowadays. You can just pick it up on your computer or the internet.
And men know this.
Well,
they trapped the women.
That's exactly right. So that's part of the financial abuse.
It's like all these women that are going out there to try to find men with money. And no back plan. It's like you're trapped. He can do whatever he wants to you because you're going to get 100%. Used to that lifestyle. I see it all the time.
100%. And the ones that
all
are
the
sitting
time.
like, and I just tell women sometimes, I'm like, the ones of you that are sitting in those big, beautiful homes with all that money, when did it become a prison?
It's your prison.
It's your prison. It's a pretty prison. That's what you're sitting in. That's a pretty prison. So it's okay. You can get out. You can run. You can go. It's fine. But it's going to be terrifying. It is scary. It's that, and that's the thing. Fear will keep you in the worst places for the longest time because you're afraid. Do it anyway. Jump. You got to go. You can't stay, so you got to go anyway.
I'm going to use these lines against you. You know that, right? Jump.
Jump. Just jump.
Just jump.
Mm-hmm.
Stop sticking to the same stuff that you're used to doing.
Jump.
You know where we're going to go with this.
Yeah.
With your project that you're coming up on.
Mm-hmm.
You're used to doing the same shit over and over again. You got to jump. You got to change it up.
Omar's like, that's a pot called the kettle black. Like,
oh, trust me. It's all registering. It's a sponge. It's crazy, the things I'll remember. But I'm glad you made it out. Because like you said, some people don't.
No.
All the time.
No.
You know, I had, I can talk about this because we've talked about it and she's very open about it.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my ex-girlfriends was on the show a couple weeks ago and she was physically abused, sexually abused. And she's always been like, you know, I can be that person to talk to if somebody needs it. And, you know, it's just people don't know who to reach out to. And it's good that it'd be somebody that you don't even know, that somebody's not in your social circle. So to any woman that's out there, to anybody, anybody that's in a physically abusive relationship, because men can be physically abused too.
Yes, that's right. They can.
Not to make a joke out of it, but
no, they really
it's
can.
possible. Get out because it's a trap. Admiral Akbar, baby.
Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
No, it's,
but no, it's not a joke. You got to get out, and it can end mortally bad.
Mortally bad. It's terrible. Yeah. Don't. The sad part is that you've already almost lost yourself. Don't lose your life too.
Yeah.
Like, because you do lose yourself.
And you should get out immediately after the first time. Because like once, even if a person never did that and then they do that, they've crossed that line.
They crossed the line.
And then that's like an uncrossable line. Yeah, you can't. And then even if they do change and go back, it's still there.
It's still there.
And it still happened. And it will never not be there. It's like cheating. Like it doesn't matter if you stop cheating. It's the fact that it happened is still going to be in your mind no matter what. And it will never go away.
That's right.
It's like saying to you right now, don't think about elephants.
Yeah, and
You're thinking about elephants.
I'm thinking about elephants. Yeah,
because I just put it in your mind and think about something that's very impactful as physical abuse, mental abuse, things of that nature. So yeah, this is why I did the dumb show, because it's, you know, we're talking about dumb shit men do, but it's like at the end of the day, let's reverse some behavioral traits.
Yes,
let's create a new culture.
Well, I think it's also, you have to think like, these people are like this too because they did not do the steps they needed to heal themselves. Most of it's childhood trauma. Let's be honest with ourselves. We all have childhood trauma.
Everybody does.
Everybody's got childhood trauma. You're also not crazy if you go to therapy. I think everybody needs therapy. I'm like, it's like Oprah, like you need therapy and you need therapy and you need therapy. Like
about that, but
but I mean, like, even therapy might not be sitting with a therapist. Therapy might be joining a group.
Yes.
Therapy might be sitting with a good friend, or you know what I mean? Therapy's not
talking
just
to somebody. I think the term should change. I think you should alleviate what's in your life by talking to somebody.
Yes. Like that's therapeutic. Do things that are therapeutic to yourself. But you, at some point, you have to sit with that stuff. Yeah. All that shit and it's all bullshit. It's all shit. We're all here and it's all bullshit. That's what makes us all, we've all got it.
Yeah.
The problem is that when you stay a victim, first of all, you're not a victim. You're going to stay that way because of a victim mentality, and then you're going to take it out on somebody else later. You're not a victim. And to be quite honest, it's probably not demons either that you're dealing with. You're not dealing with demons. You're dealing with the consequences of really shitty actions that you made and poor decisions that you did. It's just the consequences of really shitty actions. Like that's what it is. So we've all got this. We've all got to deal with this. The problem is that we're not fixing ourselves. We're not fixing those wounds. So you just bleed. You just bleed everywhere. You bleed over everybody. I did it. I did. I have been the toxic person. I've been the one, like, I've been the one that hasn't like taken the time to try to fix myself and then want to push all that crap on somebody else. I have been. Absolutely. I had to recognize that stuff and be
Yeah.
like, well, that's terrible. Just like you haven't fixed anything yet. Get your shit together. Like, let's focus on why do you feel like that? What makes you feel like that? What triggers you to feel like that? Why did you feel like you had to treat that person like that? I mean, you come out of something like that, and honestly, you don't care.
Yeah.
You do not care.
You can say shit.
Yeah, your shits are just no fucks given. Like that's where we're at. Like there's nothing. Like that's where I was at. And so I didn't care if somebody was hurt. I didn't care if a feeling was hurt.
And a lot of women haven't unloaded that, and they just carry that with them,
100%.
and they carry it into relationships, and it's chain reaction.
100%.
Because then the man becomes jaded and becomes an asshole, and then repeats the cycle to another woman, and it just goes on and on.
On
I'm not
and
saying
on
women
and
are
on.
responsible because men do the same shit to women.
Right.
Same shit. But it's like, you got to unpack that.
Absolutely.
You have to. For me, it was simple. And,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look back at September 2022 as synonymously being the worst and best month of my life because of the revelation that I made, and it turned it around. It was like 180 within one day. And it was all because of Harper, my daughter. It's like, I don't want her to see me that way, and I don't want my daughter to date somebody that was like me.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
Mm-hmm.
Change now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make this shit gradual.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out, but start to shift today. And it
Mhm.
did. And then whatever happened at the beginning of September was what created this dark cloud over me that had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching this reel on Instagram, and I think it's called Winter's Era is the account. It's really good. You should look at it. But it was Kevin Hart.
Mm-hmm.
And there was that chick on SNL, Leslie. I can't remember what her last name is. It's a black comedian. She's hilarious. But she was saying, Oprah was fired at 23 and this and that.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy was like, well, that was, the guy was like, he immediately rebutted. It's like, well, that was a mistake. He's like, no, it was not a mistake. She needed to be fired at the age of 23 for her to become who she was. Michael Jordan needed to be cut from his high school basketball team and not make varsity for him to become Michael Jordan. Right. And then the other clip I was watching is Kevin Hart. He's like, you have to fucking fail.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
Like, it's all about success. I look at people when I work with them in projects that I do and who I affiliate with. It's not, I don't give a shit about your success. Mm-hmm. Like, that does not, I've met billionaires. I've dined with kings, the whole saying, like, literally done that, I'm friends with, celebrities, I'm not going to get into it, but like, I'm not impressed by a lot of things.
Nope.
Like, literally, I'm impressed with how you overcome adversity and how you dealt with failure, because I'm going to deal with way more of it, and I'm going to encounter hiccups with the things that I'm working on, and I want to work with people that can overcome that shit. If you're batting 1,000, I'm not picking that guy to be on my baseball team because he doesn't know how to deal with,
with failure,
being on home plate.
That's right.
Or, being on first place and then not knowing, like, I got to know people that know all the intangibles of failure and success to move forward with them.
Sure.
Like, so I agree.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is,
you have to fail.
I always thought, what was that saying? Like, it's fine. Like, you can sit with the greats, but I'd rather sit with the broken. You know what I mean? Like, that's.
No, I'd rather sit with the greats.
But you got to sit with the broken first before you. The
broken
can
are more people,
there.
but I'm not gonna sit with them.
Broken are more people.
You can't sit with us.
This is my table. I brought my own table. I
want to sit with the greats at Steak 48 on a Monday night.
Oh my God. No, look, I had to go. I don't regret anything I went through at all.
You shouldn't.
Because I had to go through that. Because there was a whole nother potential inside of me that I was absolutely not unleashing, and I'm now seeing it come out. I'm now seeing it. I actually, like, some of and we talk about DMs, but I've actually got some really cool DMs from a lot of people too. One of them, one of my girlfriends was like, hey, I think we're about to watch you just like your glow up, like something's happening, like I'm watching. And I got this from a few people, like they're like, we're just waiting, something's about to happen. They could feel it because they could feel it resonating inside me.
Yeah,
anytime that I spoke or something, they're like, something's coming, like I had to go through all of that shit,
had
to get to where I'm at now, because if I'd have never broken loose from that, it's always like, I've always told myself, if you don't move, if you're supposed to move, God's going to make it so uncomfortable that you don't have you don't have a choice but to move. And he made me uncomfortable. I had to get really uncomfortable. And then I had to fall. And I mean, and to me, I mean, the best place to start is from rock bottom anyway, right? You just start building from there. And I had to hit rock bottom. I did. It sucked. It was terrible. It was lonely. It was really, really sad.
Is it crazy how people like, I don't want to sound arrogant when I say this, but people like us who know everybody can feel lonely.
Lonely. It's so lonely.
God. I know half of Houston. I cannot go anywhere.
Me too.
Without being recognized. Like, hey, Omar.
Right.
I've been around the world and recognized.
Yeah.
I'm not a celebrity, but I think, I've been recognized in other countries.
Me too.
And it's like, dude, it can get lonely.
It's lonely because it's also very superficial.
Because you want to keep your guard up, and you're like, I'm not
100%.
I'm not letting anybody be in this darkness with me. Like,
I know
you have
thousands.
To be,
thousands of people all over the world. I
There's
can
like
literally
5
pick up
people.
the phone and travel wherever I want to go and have somebody sitting in somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I have like 2 friends, they've been to the trenches with me. We have been into the, what I mean?
I sent the text last night to my people, like my best friends. And I'll show you. It's those 6 people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Claudia, my best friend. Miguel, another brother, lives in Washington State. Doesn't even live in Houston. David lives in D.C. Lamar lives in San Diego. Tammy, my ex, who's a great friend, and Leah lives in Virginia. So, like, all that list, 2 of them are in Houston.
Right. That's
literally,
what I'm
your
saying.
number you gave. So it's like, but those are my people.
Yeah. You have 2 people.
In my entire 42 years of life, those are my people.
I say 2. It's really more like, it's probably, my list is probably about that long.
Yeah.
Of legitimate, like, if shit hits the fan, people, I know I can make a phone call.
These people came
right.
my mother's funeral, like,
right.
from parts of the other parts of the country. So it's like, those are my people.
Right.
And I think the word friend gets utilized so much.
So much.
I know a lot of people that I'm friendly with, but they're not my friends.
Right.
And people just want to use that word so flippantly nowadays.
They're always, I know them. Like, you don't really know them. You met them.
About me.
You met them. Nobody knows anybody. Like, I love when people are like, I saw you. It looks like you're doing so good. I'm like, do not judge anything off my social medias, because I can literally take a picture of me, like, I don't know, in
1 second of the day.
No, like, I mean, I can take a picture of me doing something really cool, maybe on a beach somewhere, maybe I'm in Cabo, but I won't post that thing until like a week later. I'm probably posting it from my bed. Like, you have no idea where I'm at. Yeah. You have no idea. I could be posting a photo from 6 years ago. Like, I don't know. Like, you don't actually know what's going on in my life at all unless you are in my life. And I do that for a reason, obviously.
Yeah.
But you don't know anything about me. You don't know anybody. Like, you met. You don't know them. You met them.
Here's what people know about me from my social media. That I love Harper.
Yes, that's true.
I work out and I eat like a motherfucker.
You do eat a lot.
And I'm not 800 pounds.
And you're not 800 pounds. You're not.
Man.
But yeah.
But that's the truth. Everything else, trust me, you don't fucking know shit about me.
No.
And you know what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of people that think that they know shit about me.
Yes. Yes.
I encourage it. In fact, I know there's some people that think they know things about me and they know like a sliver of the truth. And then they elaborate and expound on that. And they think that's my character.
But this is Houston too. Everybody does that.
It's like, you don't know shit about me.
No.
Like, you don't. And so I'm ready for that.
Houston's
like
a
I post, like, I'm going to post that thing literally every day, the Dana White thing. Bet against me. Fucking do it. I want you to. I've already done shit that people can't even imagine that I've done.
Yeah.
With just one thing. Right? And I'm working like 5 other things right now. So like, no, you ain't seen shit yet.
Yeah. Don't.
I love the doubters. I love the haters. And that sounds so cliche. It's so gross. It's like, do it.
Yeah.
Fucking doubt me.
That's what, but I don't know. I kind of feel like you have to be that way nowadays, because I didn't get to where I'm at. Like, and I know we don't want to talk about work because it's boring, but like, I didn't get to where I'm at career-wise. It wasn't easy. Like, I mean, I came in at the bottom. It took me 10 years to get my division.
From the bottom, now
we're here, right? 10 years I've been working to get to where I'm at. 10 years. I do not, that's what I'm saying. Burn the ships. You go all in. It took me 10 years. I stayed here 10 years. I'm still here 10 years. I don't give up. I don't give up easy. I'm dedicated. I had no told to me so many times, and I got that one yes, and I took it, and
That yes is gold.
Ran with it. I mean, ran with it. I'm still running with it. Still 13. Well, now we're going on.
And
2
that
years.
yes may never come too. You may have to create your own yes.
Absolutely.
I did.
Absolutely.
I had to make my yes.
That was like my next step. I was like, if this doesn't go through, this is the last time that I'm going to allow myself to fail at the yes from somebody else.
Yeah.
Because if this doesn't work, then that means I need to go get the investors. I just need to do it myself and prove to them. And it's happening now because everything I said, that's because I'm huge on integrity. Huge. That's actually one of the most important things to me. Do what you say you're going to do. That is massive, massive to me. I will shut
the walk.
Absolutely. But if you say you're going to do something, do something. That's why I've got like, that's
one of my
why
biggest pet peeves,
I have
people clout throwing on social media.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This is my year. Blah, blah, blah.
Do it.
Show me.
Show me.
Motherfucker.
You're Daisy if you do.
Show me.
Show me.
Show me.
Prove it. Yeah. 100%.
This is cheap.
No, we can talk all day.
That ain't nothing.
You can talk all day, but if you come up to me and tell me, hey, I'm going to do this, you're a Daisy if you do. Go ahead. Prove it. Show me.
Is that what that thing
do
means
it.
on your
That's
social?
what that means.
Oh, my God.
I have it on my arm. Like, literally, it's on my arm. That's how much I mean
I
it.
saw a meme
Like,
about
prove
daisies. It's like, who's Daisy?
Daisies?
Daisy me rolling. Daisies.
Daisies. That's actually my favorite flower.
We got about 5 minutes left. 5 minutes.
Okay.
We talked about some good shit.
Yeah, we did.
I'm glad that you divulged what you did because I think it's going to help somebody if they're
I hope so. I hope it does. And I hope they reach out. And I hope I'm able to help anybody.
So, pet peeves. It's a little thing. We're not going to talk about it a lot, but you were really annoyed recently when I threw you on a group text. You immediately wrote me back.
Yes.
Like, it was immediate. You're like, I'm going to be honest. I thought you were being a stuck-up bitch.
Yeah, I don't care.
And I hate
When it
using that
came
word
out-
on this woman, but in that moment, I was like, what?
I hated it.
There was 16 people in that thread, and only one person complained.
Me.
Jess. It was a model group thread for the fashion show, and you were like, "Don't put me in a group thread."
Please
I was
don't
like,
put me in a group text.
my eyes rolled so big. I was like,
That's okay. That's all right.
and I see your phone blow up every 5 seconds. So I'm like,
yeah.
why
Now
is
imagine
this bothers her.
Now
This
imagine
this bothers her.
you see my phone going off all the time, right?
That
now
text-
imagine that I accepted every group text message that I was trying to be added in. Like it would not stop. It would
But
not
that
stop.
happened one time with me.
And all I asked was, please don't do it again.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Don't you put me in another group text message.
Oh,
I
no,
love
no,
that your
no.
question was like, how have I ever hurt you? You added me in a group text
Yeah,
message.
you group text.
I'm like, do not put me. I
mean-
can't, and I can be stuck up. That's fine. If that's my one thing that makes me stuck up, I'm okay with that. I can't do it. I hate group text
Don't
messages.
put Jess
so
in a
bad.
group text. The end. Okay.
I don't even think it's
No, we're
the.
done with that. Go ahead.
I don't even think that it's that. I think that it's like nobody asked. Like I think if you're gonna put somebody in a group text message, you'd be like, "Are you okay with like being in this?"
It was
Huge
information for the models, but okay, alas.
But I'm talking about any group text because I was just added into one with 25 people in it the other day.
I'm in a pickleball group text, and these
Do
motherfuckers
not
are
do it.
texting at 10:30, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
We have to have a 9 o'clock cutoff.
That's what
This
I'm
is pickleball.
saying.
We're talking about pickleball, and these fools are texting at 10:30. I'm like,
That's what I'm saying. Because also, you know what it is too? Because I am not one of those, you're not one of those people that have like 363 unread text
no,
messages and emails, right?
I have to. Have
Me
zero.
Me too. So if I get added, even if I put that thing on do not disturb, there's still going to be, I'm going to wake up in the morning with 75 like text messages because somebody put me in this group text messages. And now I got to go through and cut them all off. Now I got to go through and show them as read.
All right, what's next?
Extra work.
What's next for Jess? Because we're wrapping this up. What's on the agenda? I'm not talking about today. I'm not. What you got going on?
I think we're going to start working on Come Hills or High Water this year.
Oh snap! I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy too.
Who knows a thing or two.
Yeah. So I think we're going to bring it back. I mean, we can't really blame COVID anymore. And life has gotten to a point where I think I have the ability to
phone's
do
going
that.
off.
Told you. But let's add her to a group text message. Yeah. So,
That's good. That's exciting.
yes. And then I don't know, I'm running hard. I mean, hurricane season's going to be on us before I know it. And then that takes off too because it seems like we have a bad one every year up the Southern Seven. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I got to be there if that happens. And then I don't know. We'll see what's next. I guess it's a stay tuned type thing.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
So So thank you for being on the show today.
You're welcome.
You got a lot of shit going on today. It's a heavy week, and you got a lot of stuff on the horizon. So appreciate your time, guys. Not to pimp her out, but like if there is somebody out there that needs some advice,
Yes,
Jess has offered
I
to
encourage them.
be the ear to hear,
Encourage.
ear,
Mm-hmm.
lend an ear and hear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jumbling my words here. But yeah, and if not just in somebody, because like, you know, we talked about some serious stuff today, and there's a lot of help out there, and there's no reason for you to be stuck in mud.
That's right.
And you can be on the track running, burning some calories.
Get out.
So once again, thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Guys, please subscribe on YouTube. Give a like button. Leave a comment. What do you guys want us to talk about in the next segments? Listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast. You know, appreciate your support. Until next time, I am Omar Marcos, and this has been The Dumb Show.